Today's adventure takes us here to Ottawa. No, not that Ottawa. Ottawa, Illinois, and to Nichol Cemetery. And this cemetery goes back almost 200 years. It is a pioneer cemetery, although when you look at it, there are modern grave sites here in the front, but way back in the trees there, that's where the pioneer cemetery is, and that's where we're going to explore today. So come join me as we explore Nichol Cemetery. As we enter Nichol Cemetery here on this sunny but brisk winter day near Ottawa, Illinois, we have some more recent graves here up front, but I want to walk toward the back where we have the older graves. Doesn't appear anyone has been in here since we've had the snowfall, which has been about a week now. And you can see the transition right here to the old cemetery from the new cemetery. Although we do have what appears to be a fresh grave here. And I guess there are some newer tombstones here. But beyond that, we have some old ones. Let's take a look at some of these old ones. Cannot see anything on those. And this is very interesting. We have a tombstone right here, right where this tree popped up. Bowers is a name. So 1976 is the latest date for May Bowers, but you would think that that tree would not be there. I mean, I guess it's had almost 50 years to grow here, but that probably would have had to started pretty soon after that person was buried. Here we have Civil War. Knickerbocker is the name. Thank you for your service. And another Civil War right next to it. Another Knickerbocker. Then we have the Zinke, the metal tombstone here, which looks like it's about ready to fall over. I mean, it can't lean any further than that. It probably won't fall over because it's in the ground. Member of John A. Dix Post number 42. Department of Cal. GAR. Let's see what we have here. Lorenzo. You can see that there. Knickerbocker. Born November 13th, 1846. Died May 7th, 1887. Member of Company 1, 138th Registry, Illinois Infantry. Amazing tombstone, really. And Knickerbocker is what we saw there on the military tombstone we just read. So this is the same person. That's really nice. For some reason there's a pile of rocks here. I wonder if that was the original base for it and it just kind of slid off over time. We have some very old tombstones here. I'm reaching for my flashlight. Let's see if we could see anything on here. I see an SAR Sarah Fellows. First, looks like first, the first wife of Nelson Knickerbocker. Something after something. And it says Daniel Way, it looks like. Born January 18th, 1811, it appears. Died September 26, 1891, it looks like. Very difficult to read. We have some more on this side. Here's Nelson, Knickerbocker, born March 9th, 1808. Died April, looks like 23rd, 1849. That is old. And here's the finial that had fallen. And then we have a praying angel statue there. Let's see if I could read what this one says. We're on a roll with reading these, so maybe we could read this one too. Or maybe not. You could probably read it better than I can. Daniel, maybe? Daniel, it looks like. Way. Born. Is that 1828? Died August 17th, 18 something. Hard to tell that one. Very old. Another old one here. Got what appears to be a dove. All right. All right, we got some old ones. We had some luck reading some of them, which is good, because I never usually get luck reading some of these. Bowers is the name on this one. Christian Bowers, 1819 to 1905. Marry his wife, 1827, also to 1905. And Charlotte, their daughter, 1864 to 1888. So their daughter preceded them in death. We see that a lot where children precede their parents in death back in those days. Oh, and this is the same one. Charlotte. I keep on wanting to say Charlotte. Bowers died 1888. 23 years, 10 months, 8 days. Then we see one that just says Sarah C. here. Butterfield. And this is really what the cemetery should be named, because the first settlers here were the Butterfields. And they were the first ones to be buried in this cemetery. So we see David Butterfield, 1831 to 1918. Julia, 1835 to 1914. And Sarah, their daughter, unfortunately passed away. She wasn't even a year old. She was just over a year old, I should say. 1859 to 1860. We have what I believe to be a partial tombstone here. I think it's missing a couple of pieces. Let's see if we can see what this says. We're having some pretty good luck today with reading these. I see Katie, wife of C.W. Butterfield. Can't really read any more of that. I see looks like 1881. Maybe Sally there. It's very difficult to read. But behind me we have another Lazinki's. Sally Ann Rood, wife of A.D. Butterfield. Now, when they say A.D. Butterfield, that's Augustus David Butterfield. He was one of the first settlers in this area. And Sally was his third wife. We see the American Bronze Company, very popular back then. And here's Susan. This is Augustus David's first wife. Died 1831. This is, well, not an original tombstone, but I believe that is the earliest grave in this cemetery. I don't know if her original tombstone is still in here or not. And here's Augustus David Butterfield. Died 1887 at the age of 85. We see Butterfield there. And he has one more wife, Lucy. And yep, there she is. Here's Lucy. Died 1838 at the age of 28 years old. So he was married to Sarah first. Then Lucy was his second wife. And finally, Sally was his third wife. Kind of neat. And we have a small one here, Butterfield. Looks like 1858 to 1913. Then we have some tombstones that are upended. Oh, here's the, this might be the original. This is the original. This is Sarah, or Susan Butterfield. You can see the top's cut off there, though. But she died in 1838 at the age of 28. Yeah, so this is her original one. Well, maybe not, because I see Sally's there, too. So Sally is his third wife. 1870, it looks like, on that one. So this is the original tombstone, and then this is the replacement here. I do not see... I see Sally and Sarah. I do not see Lucy on here, however. Maybe she was at the top. Oh, here's Lucy here. So we have Lucy. And we have the main tombstone that has fallen over. And we have Sally. And there should be one for Sarah, but I don't see that one. But they're all on here. Okay, so I have, so it's Susan, not Sarah. I think Find a Grave said it was Sarah. The name is actually Susan. But those are the first graves in this cemetery, is that of Susan Butterfield in 1838. A beautiful old obelisk. I can't believe this is still standing, and it is very straight yet. So whoever put this up did a fantastic job of building that base. Mary, wife of Richard Clark, died December 29th, 1874 at 29 years old. And Louisa, wife of Jesse Grove, died in 1880 at 30 years old. And you see it says Parr here, P-A-R-R. So I don't see, I guess it's Mary Parr, and then Louisa Parr. So they must have been sisters, perhaps, is what my guess is there. That's really nice how it has that design in there. There's a very, very nice monument to them. Oh, and there's one more here. Let's see who this is. Something Parr. Samuel Parr died June 18th, 1872. It's hard to tell how old he was. 50-something years old, I believe. And then Rebecca, his wife, died January 1st, 1850-something, at 38 years old, I believe. And And here's Rebecca's individual tombstone here. Hold on a second, my camera is going a little nuts. Please stand by. And here's Rebecca's individual tombstone here. This is Samuel here. And then I don't see the one for the sisters. That says MPC on the top. Not sure who that refers to. This is interesting here, Latimer, because it's amongst the graves of the older tombstones. And then here we have another Civil War soldier, James Latimer, Sergeant Company K, 39th Illinois Infantry. Thank you for your service. And immediately behind that, if we could see, is the old stone. Oh good, they did have it, so you could see that. So that's the older one. We have another Latimer here, Sarah, wife of Lewis, died in 1882, it looks like. And then this looks like it's Lewis himself, died 1902. Very interesting, guys. I love these old cemeteries. I just love them. We've got one here that's in the ground. Let me see if I can... Oh, that's ice is frozen, as ice usually is frozen, and I'm unable to scrape that off to see what the name is on that. And yes, another Civil War tombstone. Such a small cemetery, and this is, I believe, the 4th Civil War tombstone we've seen. Monroe J. Bosworth, Company L, 15th Illinois Cavalry. Thank you for your service. And here's Monroe's main tombstone here. 1843 to 1909, so he did not die in service. And Amelia, his wife, 1840 to 1919. That's pretty neat. And here we have tombstones that say Amelia. Here, let me walk around here. This says Amelia Monroe. It says mother. And this says father, so I don't know if that's, must be Monroe's mother and father there. Another Latimer, James Latimer, 1895. Cloretta, his wife, 1919, and Mary Dell, don't know who she is, but unfortunately she passed away as a young age of maybe 3 or 4. Let's see what we've got here. Got a lamb, so that's usually Lewis, it looks like. Son of something Latimer, died. It's very hard to see when Lewis died. That one is unreadable. And then we have a plaque here saying, please keep off the grass. That's pretty funny. I don't know where that came from, or I don't think that's where it should be. Interesting nonetheless. I love these old tombstones. This one I'm not even going to try. It's just not readable. Not readable at all. But this is, I believe I can read this one. Mirbius, Peister, yeah, Caroline, his wife. Yeah, that's difficult to read. Boy, this one here has really had a hard time. Richard is the name. Drackley, Abby, his wife. He died in 1906. She in 1913. And little Mary, unfortunately, was only a few months old when she passed away. And here's the one for Mary right here. You can see Mary, 1862, and yeah, aged a couple of months. That's frozen into the ground, so I can't see it. And we have an old one here. This is another Civil War one. Veteran, that says. Boy, I can't really read that one, but that'd be the, is that the 5th or 6th one in here that I've seen for Civil War veteran? This one caught my eye. Abraham. You got the finger pointing up within a wreath. I've never seen that within a wreath before. I think it says Abraham. Son of somebody. And man, that's really worn. Really worn. All right, let's continue our walk. I see another metal tombstone up here. Let's go take a look at that. As we continue this walk through this beautiful cemetery. Brumbach is the name. It says aged 51 years, 6 days. Oh, that, just reading this and I just sunken in. The grave is sunk and I had a misstep there. Detroit Bronze Company. That's interesting. I haven't seen that one before. Usually it's the Chicago Bronze Company. But born in Licking County, Ohio, January 23rd, 1830. Tried, true, and honored friend, we've laid thee in the tomb. Greenest boughs shall o'er thee bend, and brightest flowers bloom. Unfortunately, well, this isn't the original, obviously, but it was put on the original base. I would love to have seen what the original looked like. But the base is starting to tilt. And here we go. George Brombach, surveyor of LaSalle County, erected by his friends, 1885. And he died, when did he die? He was born 1830. He was 51, so he died in Marseilles, January 29th, 1881. So he was just past his 51st birthday. Back up here so we get a full view of that monument. It's beautiful, very beautiful. Let's continue our walk through here. I do see yet another Civil War tombstone here. I don't know which side has the inscription. All right, we're going to try to read this one. Let's see if we can. Charles J. Kelly, Minnesota. private company something, May 8th. Hard to see what the date is, but thank you for your service. I think that is the 5th or 6th one we've seen in this small cemetery, which is rather incredible. You got the Loring family here. John Loring, born in New York, August 22nd, 1870. Died, it looks like 1898. And Louisa, his wife, died in 1893. All right, in the back, very back of the cemetery, we have this structure. Do I approach it? Or am I in a scary movie here? Yeah, that looks like something that is definitely in a scary movie, especially with the wooden cross there. There's definitely been activity around here. Animal activity, that is. I'm looking for animals. That is creepy. That is really creepy. Got a ladder. Some garden tools in there. But that's creepy. That's a false wall because that doesn't go all the way back. So let's see what's around the other side here, if anything. There's a door. This, my friends, is an old outhouse. And the door to the outhouse is here. Yeah, that's an old outhouse. Yeah. Look at that. That hasn't been used in a few years, and adjacent to it, and I'm happy they covered it up, is the well. So I'm thinking there was probably, I mean, you got a well, you got an outhouse, you got a shed. There was probably a caretaker's house on this property somewhere. Long gone, though. That's really neat, finding stuff like that. Here we have sleeping. Portia Rebecca, daughter of A.F. and S. Nichol, 1891-1895. So here's some Nichol, or Nichol, I should say. Mother Sadie Nichol, 1853 to 1931. So this is who the cemetery is named after, even though really the Butterfields were the first one here. As far as I know, anyways. Here we have Nichol, John Nichol. I keep saying Nicole, it's Nichol. May 17th, 1817, died 1902. Rebecca died 1891. So they must have owned this land at some point. Samantha, daughter of John and Rebecca Nichol, born 1840, died 1876. Then John Orr, 1848, died 1876. Beautiful. You know, sometimes in cemeteries, looks can be deceiving, and this is one of those cemeteries because up there from the road, you see a lot of new tombstones, probably from the mid-1900s to now. But back here within these trees, is this really old, cool pioneer cemetery. So I'm really happy I stopped at this cemetery today to explore it, because it's just tremendous. And thank you for joining me today on this walk. And as always, until next time, keep exploring.